The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. The Sudanese Armed Forces just launched targeted airstrikes across the border into Chad, striking deep at the supply lines feeding this war. Almost immediately, the international diplomatic apparatus went into full damage control. The United States Embassy in Khartoum issued an official statement condemning the air operations, asserting that violence must cease and that there is no military solution to this conflict. Why is Washington so quick to lecture the Sudanese army when it cuts off foreign supply lines while turning a blind eye to the external network that built this war in the first place? To understand why these airstrikes inside Chad actually happened, you have to look past the press release and follow the trail of blood, weapons, and gold running right through the heart of the Sahel. The Sudanese military didn't strike Chadian civilians, nor did they target Chad's armed forces. What they targeted were armed convoys belonging to the Rapid Support Forces or RSF. These fighters and technical vehicles aren't just materializing in Darfur out of nowhere. They are moving through an established regional pipeline. Arms, heavy logistics and mercenaries are being funneled from southern Libya, passing through remote armed police corridors in Chad and crossing directly into Sudan. The Chadian leadership under President Mahmoud Idris Deby knows these corridors exist. Yet, despite foreign diplomatic calls with senior officials discussing border security and humanitarian relief, these routes have remained open for militia traffic.
The Sudanese army is getting rid of the terrorists, is getting rid of the criminals that are coming from Libya to enter Chad and then to Sudan. The United States Embassy in Sudan, they don't like that at all. The United States condemned the recent airstrike carried out by the Sudanese army forces inside Chad. What the United States Embassy is not telling people here that these airstrikes are carried out against the terrorist forces, the RSF militia that are coming from Libya. They were being given weapons in Libya and training to go and destroy Sudan so that Dubai can get free gold, UAE can get free gold, because UAE is behind this militia, by the way. US Embassy continued to say that violence in Sudan and beyond must cease. There is no military solution to this conflict. For real? When Sudanese people are being massacred by that famous guy, do you guys remember Abu Lulu? A man who filmed himself massacring the innocent people in Sudan, men, women, and children. And US Embassy in Khartoum is telling us that there is no military solution to that. Yeah, because of now the Sudanese army is getting rid of those terrorists and cockroaches, by the way. And there is absolutely no justification for the violence to extend beyond Sudanese borders, which means in Chad. Now the United States Embassy is talking to the president of Chad, this man right here, and this man is responsible for so many things that are currently going on in Sudan, because his country is being used by the outsiders like UAE to transfer weapons from Chad into Sudan and to Mali, Burkina Faso also. So this man right here is part of the problems what is currently going on in the Sahel regions. So the Sudanese army did not attack the innocent people in Chad or the military of Chad. No, Sudanese army will not do that because they have morals. But in Libya, these people are being given weapons. They will enter through Chad, and the government of Chad knows these things. Why are they not working with the Sudanese army to stop this bloodshed in Sudan? Because the government of Chad is also part of it, by the way, the leaders. They will pass through Libya, Chad, and then into Sudan to go and massacre the innocent people. Now, the leader of this militia or these criminal gangs is Hemiti right here. All of his sons, they are living in Dubai and other countries. They are going to one of the most expensive schools. But he is sending some poor people to go and die in Sudan. And that is what recently happens when 6,000 of them lost their lives, the terrorists, by the way. And so many of them also have been caught by the Sudanese army as well, because their vehicles were being destroyed. They were starved to death. So many of them also lost their lives because of no food in the desert. And this man right here, a so-called Muslim, the ruler of Dubai, is the architect of what is currently going on in Sudan. Just for them to get free gold from Sudan, they are willing to unalive the innocent people, and that is what they have been doing. If you look at that video of Abu Lulu, that man who went famous on TikTok for unaliving innocent people in Sudan. So, long life to the Sudanese army, and the United States Embassy is mad because Sudan is getting rid of their cockroaches, their, Anyway, long life to the military of Sudan.
Gain control over Sudan's massive and traceable gold reserve and export that wealth back to hub in Dubai. So when the Sudanese Air Force finally tracked this armed convoy through the desert and neutralized them before they can reach the battlefield, Western envoys called it a dangerous escalation. Where was this agent foreign concern when the RSF was committing documented massacres across Darfur and Khartoum? Look at the notorious RFF commander known as Abu Lulu, a man who became infamous for self-filming his own brutal actions. He recorded himself bragging on social media about executing thousands of innocent civilians, including women and children. While men like Abu Lulu carry out these kind of things on the ground, foreign embassies did not mobilize with this level of agency. But the moment the Sudanese military asserts its sovereignty and cuts off the weapons feeding those massacres, foreign diplomats demand an immediate ceasefire. There is a clear double standard at play. External powers are allowed to flow around sovereign borders to keep a war alive for good, but a national army is condemned the moment it strikes those weapons networks at the source. Look at the contrast between the commanders and the men dying in the sun. We had a press release from the Chadian armed forces, and they were saying they launch or drop bombs in Chad without giving us details about what is actually happening on the ground, only for us to realize that they didn't just wake up one day and decided to launch these things in Chad, but because there were people who were trying to escape from Sudan into Chad. These were the people they decided to drop those bombs on. And even the military made it clear that there were no casualties, no civilians were targeted. So what is happening currently is as a result of the way we have allowed ourselves to be divided. We cannot unite to fight the forces that are fighting us. You find one party always ready to help fight against the black person. What is happening in Sudan is happening everywhere in Africa. And collective strength is what will save Africans from all these struggles we are going through. We are allowing foreign powers to use us to their advantage. Our resources are moving out. The African is becoming poorer, yet we have all the resources. And we are still not ready to come together so we can fight for the total liberation of ourselves. For how long must foreign powers determine which strike is right and which one is wrong on the continent of Africa? Why can't sovereign states, if we claim we are sovereign, take bold decisions as what we think is good or bad? And for how long will this narrative continue to happen on the soil of Africa, whereby people determine the fate, determine what the African can do, determine what the African must look like? We are still not sovereign people. When we look at all the things that are happening around us, Africa is still backwards. Africa is still controlled. Africa is still under slavery. The only difference is the African can walk without the chains seen on the physical body. But it would have been better if these chains were on our physical body than where it is, the mental one. Because majority of us don't see it, it makes it even more difficult. That was why one time Dr. Arikano said, the most dangerous black man is the educated ones. And that is what is happening to us today, because we are too dangerous to ourselves, simply because we cannot find these physical chains on our bodies. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa and in Sudan.